What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Pinfalls and Playbooks podcast episode. There's no episode really this time, but it's a special edition episode as we got, as always, I'm your host, Faiz Kabir, alongside my co-host, Fardin Khan. But this week, guys, we got two special guests. They're pretty much everything that you need to know about movies. They're basically the Film Room Pod. We got Scott and Dion.
What's up? How we doing, man? Good to be here.
I appreciate you guys for joining us, and I'm excited because I've been watching you guys pretty much grow from the very beginning. Always been a fan, watching your content. One time, your guys' feed just came up on my stuff, and I was like, yo, these guys are super chill. It just kind of reminded me of, kind of my vibe when I come to doing movies and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this is someone I can definitely relate with. So, guys, if you ever feel like you want or scared to talk to anybody, just hit them up, and that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you saying that, and I rock with you guys too because I've listened to a couple of your episodes too. I'm not a fan of all sports. You guys have more of a wide range of the sports. I'm more a top for me is basketball. So when I hear you guys talk about the basketball, I'm more locked in on that stuff. Big wrestling fans, got the Bootio shirt. Anyone knows about Bootio is a New Day. Got to throw it out there, especially with Kofi and Xavier leaving. Those that know. But yeah, huge wrestling fan, and the fact that you guys love sports too. It's I feel like it's a perfect collab.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, I appreciate you guys copping on because obviously you guys are from Canada, right? So I appreciate you getting on. We're on it's interesting because, everyone always has that pretty much debate where it's American sports fans versus Canadian sports fans. There's always been a huge dissemination between the two. But honestly, at the end of the day, we're all sports fans. We're all especially movie fans as well, which is awesome. That I'm glad you guys want to hop on and talk about it with us.
Yeah, super excited for it, man. It's really cool to hear that you've been checking us out for a little bit of some time, and the fact that you said, oh, these guys just seem like some chill guys. That's literally from the jump what we were trying to do. We were just okay, let's just hop on this. Not trying. We've said from the jump we are not movie experts, and we don't claim to be. So we're not trying to prove to everybody that we are smarter than people. The pretentiousness of the movie community. Sure. I go in on this all the time. I hate it so much. People that just you don't understand this movie because you're not smart enough is the dumbest thing ever. So we just want to have fun, talk movies and sports. We haven't talked a lot of sports in our podcast. Maybe we'll introduce it a little more in the future, but big sports guys, like Dion said, mostly basketball. I used to watch a little bit of wrestling. I fell off after a while though, to be honest.
That's how it is, honestly. Everybody starts off super young. They're all into it. And then it's usually the case where two things happen. Either you pretty much grow up.
There's usually a lot of stuff that goes on
throughout
the years. If you really like
drama and you really like to see guys fight in tights, you just keep on watching.
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny way of putting it. But
one thing I'm going to talk about quickly is what made you guys pretty much decide to start your pod? That's what I was really curious about.
Scott, you can go.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a funny story. We're talking about, because he lives in a different city than me, so we kind of started talking movies. We were just texting about movies, and I was going to see Dune 2 with a friend of mine, and I was talking about what I was looking forward to in the movie and what maybe I thought was going to happen or whatever, and he was like, man, you're really into movies. I was like, hell yeah. I'm talking to my boys, a mutual friend, so I'm talking to Dion right now about a different movie, and he was kind of just reading through the text. He's like, this is really interesting. You guys should start a podcast. And boom, right from there, I hit Dion up. I was like, what do you think, man? I think it could be fun. And before you knew it, we were posting our stuff.
Because I know a lot of people they get a little nervous about okay, I'm gonna start a podcast with someone that I don't know as well. But that's pretty cool that you guys pretty much started a podcast and started to develop each other and understand each other more the way you started by doing a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we've been friends for years now. We met playing basketball when we were really, really young, and then we got really close. We went to high school together, and then he moved away after high school to go to school. So there was even a few years there where we still kept in touch, but we weren't really kind of talking as much, obviously, as we did.
There was the actor strike, I believe, a couple of years ago. So how do you guys feel about the world of cinema as it currently stands?
Well, I'll speak for myself. I don't know what Scott's specific opinions on it, but for me, obviously the streaming wars changed a lot, with again, the pandemic happened, and then streaming got more of a push. So at first it was tough for people to get back into theaters. My thing is always the theater experience is always the best experience. Those it's kind of what we grew up on and stuff like that, getting to see the movies on the big screen. Now IMAX, it almost feels like IMAX is bigger than it ever was because it was very minimal before, where it's like, oh, some movies will get some IMAX releases, but now it's like a lot of things that probably don't even need to be in IMAX get IMAX's releases. So I think we're in a stage of nostalgia, especially for 2026. It's a lot of nostalgia movies and legacy sequels, but there's still a lot of good stuff that are coming out outside of that. So I feel like it's in a good place.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I think everyone always, for whatever reason, I feel like it's just kind of the nature of the internet, and people are very cynical, so they're always just like, oh wait, there's no good movies anymore, nothing's original, it's all just sequels and remakes and blah blah. And there is a lot of those, like that's not a lie, but that's always been the case. It's not like people remember back to like all the great movies of the 2000s and the 90s and whatever, because they only remember the good ones. Like in 20 years from now, we're going to remember, oh, you remember Sinners and One Battle and Interstellar, and like there's all these great movies, and we're not going to remember any of the crappy ones. Like no one's going to be talking about Gladiator 2.
Right.
You know, but people complain about it now because it came out and they're like, oh, all we have is sequels. Yeah. It's like, that's what we had then. We just don't even care about those. So we don't even talk about them. So I think movies are in a great place, and every year is always cinema's about to die, but I think we're good.
I can jump in real quick. No, I want to agree with you too, because you know, I would say like I feel like I'm a really avid movie follower. Like guys, like it's funny because I be going to the movies so much. I go probably to theaters like every week at this point. And the funniest part is I actually got a call yesterday from my credit card company saying like, dude, did your credit card get stolen? Because there's so many charges to movie theaters. And I'm like, no, I'm approving these charges. Like it's me. Like I'm buying these in advance and pretty much picking my best seat out to go watch this movie. And that pretty much like sums it up for me. It's like, yeah, I don't think the movie, like cinema and basically in general, I think it's pretty much getting better and better in my opinion, because there's a lot more movies that are coming out. Like I'm a big fan of original story, and knowing that like for example, the director wrote it and directed it. I'm a big fan of those. I give a lot more pretty much like respect to those guys, because anybody knows if it comes to writing or anything like that, it comes to movies, it's super hard to write a movie and a script. Like, you know how many hours or even years it takes for people to write a movie. So when you're able to see people like write and direct it, I have even more profound respect for that. And one of the prime examples is there's a movie coming out, I think you guys are probably aware of, called The Backrooms, that everyone's excited for, I'm pretty sure, where it's an 18-year-old kid that got the opportunity by A24 to direct this movie. You know?
Yeah, it's insane.
That it's crazy when you think about it. And it's just like, all right, 18 years old, can you even imagine having to write a movie, handle a whole cast, and just direct the whole scenes? Like it's just crazy to me. And for me, it just shows that a lot of people in the movie industry are having faith on younger people to bring in the new generation of new type of movies that are coming in. Like you said, like the sequels and the big blockbuster movies, they're starting to get a little bit outdated. We saw that with the decline with the MCU universe, when after the big Endgame happened, and after that it was just started to fall and fall. A lot of people are starting to get fatigued from those movies. But I think when you come up with true original stories and stories that connect with people, those are always going to show out a lot more, especially in the box office, and connect with the audience a lot more when it comes to movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the people love it. If you look at last year, two of the biggest movies, Sinners and Weapons, and people fell in love with it.
Yeah, one battle after another that won the best picture. And I mean, first of all, I want to say, if someone stole your wallet and is just going to movies, then that's just poor. That's just a poor decision. You know, you gotta maximize that crime. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
But, yeah, you know, or maybe you just don't want to get caught. But hey, maybe Tom Cruise stole your credit card. That guy loves movies.
He watches a movie a day.
That would be ironic.
You'd be seeing more charges.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tom, come on, bro. You're stealing my. Come on, bro. Like, help me out, man.
Yeah.
But no, I think original stories are always fun. I mean, I'm not gonna discount like a fun sequel. You know, like that stuff is always great too. And like the impact of the MCU was so big. And you're right, maybe kind of it's time. I don't want to say its time is past. We'll see, I guess, with Doomsday coming out, but the whole idea of a connected universe is nothing we had never really seen before. So that was just something so fresh. If you can come up with anything new, people will always be interested in that. Yeah. And this thing about like this kid doing Backrooms, like that's so insane to me. He's got to have some kind of experience making movies for A24 to give him a chance. But like A24 has always kind of been like that leading edge, like push the envelope kind of studio. So it doesn't surprise me that it's them.
No, for sure, because like you can always see they're really progressive when it comes to different takes on movies and stuff like that. Like people view them, they used to be known as like the indie film studio, right?
Right.
Now at this point, they're just probably one of the big monsters in the industry at this point. But since we're speaking on movies, I was thinking like, why don't we do the viral question where everyone always talks about what's your Letterboxd, which is basically what's your top 4 movies in your opinion.
This is a terrifying thing to do, man. It's just so like it feels like there's so much pressure on this. There really isn't, because like I said, the whole pretentiousness, that's not what we're doing here. So, you know, if whatever movie you have, I'm not going to argue it is your favorite movie, but like it feels like it's so hard to pick 4 movies, and I have 4, but I don't even know if I'm happy with them, you know? I don't know if you can be.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with your opinions based off what you like and what you prefer seeing.
That's right. So who wants to go first? Who wants to rip the Band-Aid off? Or do we go one at a time? What do you guys think?
We'll go. Whoever goes, we'll go 4. Yeah, go first.
Okay, Farden, go for it, bro.
Do all your 4.
I got you. I have a list here that I had to create. Where did it go? All right. So my first movie, I'm pretty sure we all watched this. It's The Dark Knight. I mean, the overall thrill to this movie, it was, in my opinion, the best superhero movie that I guess came out, to be honest. Like, we all consider Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, any of the Spider-Man movies from back in the day. But The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger's Joker, probably is the best Joker, in my opinion. I feel like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, that was just more in its own solo aspect of things, but overall incorporating Joker in this movie. I guess he even had that point where he was doing things on his own, and we saw that like various scenes. I know the explosion scene, he kind of improvised it. I guess the explosion didn't go off, and he just pressed the button, was like, wait, what's going on over here? Dark Knight would be one. Second would be The Matrix, the first Matrix movie to be exact. I feel like back in the day, we didn't really have the great CGI that we do have now. So the fighting scenes in that movie, it was iconic, especially the end scene where they realized that he was the one. And I think there was that main hallway scene in the lobby where he went up against him and the girl. They went up against the whole clone of the villain that were in the movie. And I guess the main iconic scene was the red pill, blue pill scene. Like, which one are you going to take? Next up, it would be Django Unchained. Yeah. I would take Django Unchained next. I feel like this was Leonardo DiCaprio's, in my opinion, his underrated movie, because not a lot of people talk about it compared to, obviously now, One Battle After Another, The Revenant, you know, his early movies with Titanic, Wolf of Wall Street. But Jamie Foxx and Samuel L. Jackson, they actually carried this movie, in my opinion. Samuel L. Jackson's character was super, like, I don't know. What you portray Samuel L. Jackson to be, he exactly was in this movie. And then finally, I'm a big, like, natural disaster movie. Like, obviously, you know, we have Roland Emmerich. He does a lot of them. And I know he did this one, which was 2012. Obviously, people thought that the world was going to end in 2012. And this movie came out in 2009, I believe. But it just showed, like, what could have happened based off of the sun beaming down into Earth, like heating up its core. It obviously created earthquakes. It created tsunamis. And at the end of the day, like, I just enjoyed this movie. It was a long movie, but, you know, I just feel like this was the upper echelon in terms of natural disaster movies.
That's a good pick. It's an underrated pick too, because I feel like not a lot of people talk about that movie. I think it was so big for the time, because like, oh, the world's about to end, and then when you're like, oh, the world didn't end, then people, I think, kind of just like let that movie go to the wayside.
That's so weird. People were disappointed the world.
Yeah, especially like there was a lot of. I mean, if you think about it, people are like, wait, what's going on? There's nothing going on, you know, especially with me. Like, I remember at the time I was in a car with my mom and we were driving. I'm like, yo, anything can happen at any given time. Like, yo, like the meteors start falling down or random earthquakes. Like, you know, it was a scary time to some people, but I guess it's just we're alive. That's all that really matters at this point.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah, Dark Knight. I think.
I remember the moment too.
Oh, do you? 2012. You remember that? What was the moment? I don't even. Was there a specific time, day, all that stuff?
I think there was a specific time too, and I
Yeah,
remember
it was,
being at. I was at a fair.
I think it was May 11th, 2012, and it was supposed to happen at like 6:30. I want to say 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
So the crazy thing is, like, at that point, people were pretty much just literally watching this guy, like watching the news nonstop, and it was all based off the, I believe, it was the Mayan calendar, right? So like,
Yeah,
people followed that
Yeah.
religiously. I'm like, since when all of a sudden we're all following the Mayan calendar now? It's just like it made no sense to me.
Yeah,
that's so true. Yeah, no one even thought about that until like the 3 years before. We're like, hey, the Mayan calendar is like we've just never been looking at that. Why are we suddenly looking at that? But okay.
Honestly, those were all pretty good movies in my opinion. I think
Yeah.
they're all like good movies that you can relate to. Like, not even, I wouldn't say relate to, but like they kind of hit home, especially when you're viewing it for the first time. So I get, those are great picks in my opinion.
You go next. What's your 4?
All right, I'll do mine. So mine is a little bit more, I guess I would say, like different genres, and honestly, a lot of mine are based off of pretty big directors that created these movies, because they're big directors for a reason, and they hit home for a reason. So number one for me, this is not in particular order, but this is my, it's too hard to pick. But first one that came to my list was Shutter Island by Martin Scorsese. Shutter Island, at that point when that came out, that blew my mind. Like, that was one of the first movies where I watched it from throughout to the end, and at the end I realized, like, it was like, whoa, like it was mind blowing, because obviously we found out that the lead character was the person that they were searching for the entire time. It's just like, and in my opinion, I think that's Leo's best role that I've seen him in, because Leonardo DiCaprio pretty much had to play a detective, but also had to play an insane person at the same time.
Yeah.
So for me, I just really loved his performance in there. That's when I first got my eyes on Mark Ruffalo and realized, oh, he's more than just like a one-dimensional character and actor. He can do so many different roles and so many different things that we've seen him in. So Shutter Island for me is up there. Number 2, recency biased, but for me, probably the best sci-fi movie I've seen in my life, Dune Part 2. I absolutely love Dune. Like, so I actually watched the original Dunes when I was a kid, because I used to see them on TV. Like, they used to show them on like the old Turner, what is it, TCM channel, the Turner Classic movies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They used to show those old Dune movies, and for me, like, I love dystopian world movies where they create their own universe and basically have like their own like life to it. For me, when I saw Dune, instantly that just clicked with me. I loved the first one, and I was like, can they even top the first one? They came out with even a better version, and the performances were even better. The visuals were even insane. I think Dune Part 2, the opening scene, is one of the greatest visuals I've ever seen on basically on the big screen. I saw that in IMAX, like the highest quality 4K that you could see it on that big screen. Watching it live, it was great. Performances were great. Timothy Chalamet, in my opinion, that's what started the talks of him starting to become even bigger and more. We can use him as a big actor on mainstream stuff. And I'm excited for Part 3. I think even Part 3 is going to be even crazier. So I'm excited to see, like, can this movie and this trilogy complete the trilogies of movies, like the masterpiece? Because, like, when you think about trilogies, like, there's always one movie in the trilogies that you just don't feel like doesn't live up to the other ones. I feel like with the Dune trilogies, you have the opportunity to do bigger, and better at the end with it. So that would be my second. Third, The Prestige by Christopher Nolan. That was one of my favorite movies I've ever seen growing up. I'm a big fan of magicians, so I was able to see that play out with Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale, two of the best actors at that time going as well. Those guys were really coming off of Batman. We had Batman going on. We had Wolverine going on, and we're just like, oh, these guys are stepping away from those roles. They came to this movie to play a serious role. It's about two guys that hate each other and want to do magicians, and pretty much doing the death to each other at that point in that role. And I thought it was the greatest, like, that was probably the greatest, like, mind twist you ever seen in a film, in my opinion, because like you just never thought, like, okay, what's the reason, how are they doing it, but at the end of the day, it's a magic movie, so the idea is to trick the audience, and that's exactly what they did, which I fell in love with. And lastly is kind of a movie that I don't think a lot of people talk about enough. It's a star-studded cast. It's actually Ocean's 11. So I love those Ocean's movies, in my opinion, like Ocean's 12, 13 as well. But 11 was one of my favorites because it was the first one that I've seen. I know Ocean's is technically a remake as well. They had one back in the 70s, I would want to say.
Yeah. It's
So
like Frank Sinatra and
yeah,
those
yeah.
guys.
So this one came out with even the star-studded cast. But you had all the big stars in this: George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Julia Roberts. It was star-studded at that time. And one of the things that I kind of worry about, like those star-studded casts, like, are they going to come out really well? Are the chemistries going to mesh well together? But these guys, they all click together. And this movie came out, and it was even better than I thought. It's about literally just guys coming together, a group of 11 trying to steal money from a casino. And it was one of those movies where it's like your thief movies, but it also felt like an old style, like Rush movies, where it's just like, okay, it gives you a feeling of, how do I say, like those old, like Heat. Like it gave me you remember the movie Heat? Like it gave me a little
Yeah.
vibe of that.
Yeah.
Pace and stuff like that, and just the characters. But yeah, like those are my four. I know they're all different, but it's just different kind of qualities and views that I like to see when it comes to movies.
No, that's great. That's great to have four different movies, four different genres. It just kind of shows your scope of the different kind of movies you like. And those are both of you guys have great picks. I have no issues with any of those picks. Those are really good picks. List. I actually went like a different route with this because I've had Letterboxd for a while. So at first I just had my four favorite movies, but then it turned into I made my Letterboxd for four movies that I think are kind of like underrated, that like people don't really talk about. So these aren't necessarily like my favorite movies, but it's four movies I like to sit there. So if people look at my Letterboxd, they're like, oh, I don't know those movies. So like then they'll check them out. I'm like trying to give some hype to movies that are like a little bit lower. The first movie I have, I say that it's not too underrated, but maybe for some people, is The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. And I just think that is just like such a classic story of just like a father trying to do what he can to make it for his kid and everything. And it's one of those movies that I watched as a kid that I actually remember like tearing up, where I was like, damn, man, this guy's really going through it. He's doing the most just to support himself and do the most like to support his kid. So that movie is just always stuck with me. I think it's one of Will's best performances, like hands down. It's just strong film altogether. Second movie I have is actually an animated movie. Yeah, no, I'm glad you agreed. The second movie I have is a movie called Robot Dreams, which is this movie that actually doesn't have any talking. It's just about a guy who's kind of like a loner, and it kind of relates to nowadays, I guess, with like people having like AI girlfriends and friends and stuff like that. But he actually gets like a physical robot. He orders a robot to be his friend, and they kind of go through this day. It's kind of like a fun, like a nice movie in that sense of like they're bonding and stuff like that. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it, because again, I want people to check out these movies. But like there's a conflict that happened, kind of separates them. So like you kind of just see like this, like it's crazy to think that like you get this bond of these two characters and they don't talk. There's sounds, there's music that hold the movie together, but it's just a really solid film. Anyone that hasn't, if you can find, go see Robot Dreams. Check out Robot Dreams. It's a really good movie for adults and for kids. It's one of those type of movies, like how Pixar is. It's like, it's not like just a kid's movie. There's like themes and elements that you can enjoy as an adult. Robot Dreams is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
Third movie I have, this is on like a niche movie. It's a movie called Chaser. It's a South Korean movie that came out, I think, in 2008 or 2009. I didn't actually write down the date. But the premise of this is that you have a detective who's kind of like it's not one of those cases where you have a detective that's like, oh, like I'm really smart, like I'm the best of the best. He was one of the best of the best, but then he went through like a time where he's kind of just like, a drunk. He's just like, he's kind of like whatever. He's kind of like a crooked cop a little bit. But there's this serial killer that's going out there, like killing women and stuff like that. And throughout the movie, again, I don't want to get too much in spoiler territories. He's trying to find this guy, and you kind of get the perspective of both of them. So the whole thing is about like they're chasing. He's chasing to get to that guy, and this isn't spoiler territory because this is kind of the plot where he's in the middle of trying to kill this one girl, but he doesn't get to finish it because he gets disturbed. So the chase really is about them trying to get to that girl because he's trying to finish the job and the detective's trying to stop him. So like it's wild. Like even me saying that still doesn't even give you the grasp of everything that goes on in the movie because it's just a wild ride of of just thriller.
No,
it's great.
I can actually upvote that because I actually did see Tracer.
You did see it?
I did see Tracer very recently.
Oh my god, dude, that movie's wild.
And it was. I had no idea what I was gonna watch. Like I was like, this seems like a corny Korean movie that one of these first offshoots that I was gonna watch. I thought it was gonna be something like a little bit like Korean's version of Taken. That's what I thought.
Same.
But then when I saw this, it was actually crazy. It was wild.
Yeah, it's a wild movie. Anyway, it's not for the faint of heart. If you, it's not not a movie you watch with the kids. Obviously, it's definitely a mature film, but it's a great movie. And last one is a movie that someone from work suggested to me, and I was like, I'm open to anything. Like anyone's like, oh, you ever seen this movie? Like, because I like foreign movies. It's a movie called 3 Idiots. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of 3 Idiots.
Oh yeah,
you've heard of it?
We've heard of it.
Yeah, Bollywood movie.
Okay, yeah. Sorry,
we watched it.
Sorry, what'd you say, Fardin?
The Bollywood movie, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. It was someone from work, and they're from India, and they're like, oh, have you ever seen like these movies? I was like, no one's ever put me on these movies. They're like, oh, you got to watch 3 Idiots. It's really good. And like, you guys know what it is, but now I guess I'm like explaining for Scott or anyone else that's listening. It's basically about like, the premise of it is basically a coming of age movie. Like you have these 3 friends from college, and you start off, and it's kind of like in the present time, and they're trying to find him, but a lot of the movie kind of flashes back, so you kind of see their relationship and everything they go through, and like the movie is a wild ride in itself because like you don't know, you kind of see what their college experience was like and how like they're different from each other, and you get those flashes forward of like them in the present time and the past time. It's a great movie. Again, I like musicals. Me and Scott both like musicals, so like there's singing in this movie, there's singing and dancing. So if that's not something you don't like in movies, then maybe you won't like it as much. But I don't mind that stuff. I like that stuff. So that movie took me on a wild ride, which I wasn't expecting. I heard the title 3 Idiots, and I was like, I have no idea what this is going to be about. But people at work were telling me to watch it, so I watched it. Absolutely loved it. I'm always championing that movie.
So I guess it's my turn now, huh? Yeah. So I got first. I'm going with Stand By Me, the 1986 classic. I think it's a perfect depiction of boyhood. We did it on the podcast. That was the first time I watched it, and I fell in love with it. It's really emotional, really relatable, really funny, and absolutely insane performances from these boys. Like these are kids, and they show more pain than anybody could even imagine, and they all have depth to them. And I love that movie. That's a great one.
That's the one with River Phoenix.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he goes nuclear in that movie. I mean, they're all freaking just batting 1,000. Incredible performances from kids, which is great. Insane.
Yeah.
Second, I got Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. This is my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. I love this trilogy, and this is my favorite of the 3. I love all 3 of them. The one that separates this one for me is literally just the Battle of Helm's Deep. Is just probably the greatest action set piece that I've ever seen. It's my favorite action set piece. There's hundreds of extras involved. I know it was a nightmare to film and everything, but it's just absolute fireworks. I can't not watch it whenever it's on or something. The expansion of the world and the story is great. I love that movie. Third, I'm not even 100% sure on this. I had to pick one. I love this movie, but I got Parasite on the list. I've actually only seen it one time, but I remember just being complete awe of this movie. Such an interesting story. The way that like we're rooting for pretty bad people. Well, I shouldn't say they're bad people, but what they're doing is pretty bad, and we're rooting for them, which is kind of funny. The whole era of like uncertainty around the whole thing really gets paid off at the end with a crazy twist that I was not expecting. There's a lot of great visual filmmaking in there too. I think it was my introduction to Bong Joon-ho, which I've now become a big fan of.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people, especially Western people's introduction to Bong Joon-ho.
Why are you saying probably? There's no way you watched another movie besides that before him.
I I think people had seen Memories of Murder before that. I think
no, you.
No, me. Yeah, you're right.
You said you said probably my introduction.
Oh, no, you're right. I think that's definitely. I don't know why you gotta come for me like that, man. I eventually said that he was my introduction. I didn't lie. I don't know what this guy's.
Well, you said probably, so I was like,
all right, damn.
Sorry.
Last but not least, I got Heat. This movie freaking slaps, dude. It's like insanely precise action, amazing characters, earned arcs, tense moments. This movie is like the blueprint on all current crime movies because it's just amazing. De Niro and Pacino are going nuts in this movie, back and forth. We see different sides of the same puzzle, and then they meet, and then that just scene is just electric. That movie's awesome. That's a movie that I visited for the first time last year, and again fell in love with it. It's an awesome movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie, and honestly, that means you're probably excited for Heat too.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, we got is it? Austin Butler. Who else is Tasha? Leo, I think.
Leo's in it.
Yeah. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale's in it. It's a star-studded cast.
That's crazy. I think so. I see Leo because it's a prequel, right?
It's a prequel, right?
Yeah.
So I see Leo maybe being. Well, I think Austin Butler's got to be.
He's gonna be Val Kilmer's character.
Yeah, he's got to be Val Kilmer's. Christian Bale, I don't even know. Like, who's gonna be De Niro's guy?
So what I heard was I think De Niro's gonna be played by De Niro's character is gonna be DiCaprio, and then Bale's gonna be playing Pacino's character.
Okay.
So how early is this though? Because like, I feel like De Niro's character and Val Kilmer's character were around the same age, and now we got Leo and Austin Butler. Like, what the hell? What is that?
It'll age him up a bit, I guess. Like, age Austin Butler up with makeup and stuff, maybe. I don't know.
No, but dude, honestly, those are great picks. I got a confession to make. I love dystopian movies, but I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you got to watch Lord of the Rings, man. I love those movies.
Yeah, like I always wanted to get into it, and because like I love watching like Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Dune stuff.
Yeah.
So if I love, like I've been told, like if I love those type of movies, that everyone said you're gonna love Lord of the Rings based on like storytelling, the visuals at that time. So I definitely wanted to check it out.
Yeah, it's a little more like
you gotta check
fantasy than those. Those are a little more sci-fi, but like you're right, like just the scale of this whole journey, like a whole hero's journey, like Star Wars, and so many different characters. World building is really great. So I think if you like those, you'd appreciate that in Lord of the Rings.
Okay, cool.
Was that all 4? Or did you only say 3?
Pay attention. That's 4.
Okay. Just making sure.
You want me to go through them again? Do you remember them?
No, I'm good. I mean, you can list them all again if you want. Just say them all.
Stand By Me, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, Parasite, and Heat.
Awesome. All right.
Solid.
Those are all solid movies. So like one thing I want to kind of like jump course to real quick is I know that I'm assuming you guys are as well, like just like everyone else, like you guys are big MCU fans, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with the MCU movies that are coming out in the next, I guess 2-3 years, right at this point, what are your guys' expectations on the new Marvel movies that are coming out this year? Like for example, Spider-Man: Brand New Day and Avengers: Doomsday specifically.
I guess I'll go first because I guess Scott was just going with his Letterboxd. I think with Brand New Day, I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun, but I don't really know where. Like, I don't know where it's going, and I've kind of like purposely been sheltering myself because I feel like the way Marvel's been moving these last couple of ways, like they don't really want us to have any surprises. So they just announce, "Hey, this person's coming back. This person's coming back." It's like, okay, chill out. Like, are you just gonna tell me the whole plot? So I watched the first trailer, and I've kind of just been like sheltering myself away from that because I kind of want to go in blind. Like, I want to be surprised. Yeah. I don't want to know what the whole plot is. So like, I don't know where it's going, what this movie's leading to. I think it's gonna be fun, but I'm optimistic. I'm going to be there opening weekend.
I think what's going to set this aside is the fact that we just finished Daredevil season 2. We just saw Daredevil going into prison. There's a lot of questions on whether he's going to be in the movie. I know Charlie Cox, he went on like different platforms saying like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be in the movie." We know he's going to be in the movie. And then obviously the general scope of the MCU changed. Obviously they switched from Kang. Now they went to Doctor Doom. So I guess I want to see how it plays off where they tie him, because I remember they were saying that he wasn't going to be in Doomsday. I could be wrong, but overall, I just feel like this movie's gonna break expectations because a lot of people don't know what to expect coming into this. But at the end of the day, it's a Spider-Man movie. We're all gonna be on the edge of our seats watching it. So I'm glad to see, like, that it finally came out, because we didn't know when the trailer was gonna come out, and then when they released it, I was like, oh my god, this should be peak cinema.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think? You asked us the question. How do you feel about it?
No, so for me, MCU movies, like I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people where after Endgame, I was starting to feel the fatigue.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we finally paid off a big event. Can in my opinion, I thought they were gonna just start to focus on character building movies. For example, when they came out with Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi was great, and I had a great time
Yeah.
watching it. And I'm like, okay, this is great. They're gonna start building character movies, and watching the movie was great. And then when they finally got to the end credit scene, it started tying in back to the Avengers stuff again. I was like, all right, I thought this was gonna be
Yeah.
just a great character study of this movie, and that's what MCU's take was gonna be going forward. But you know, they're also a business. They have obviously they want to create bigger box office movies, and by doing that is by throwing in a bunch of people in one big movie. That's just the secret sauce for MCU. So
Yeah.
at this point, like you said, like Farden said, like they pivoted away from the Kang story to now Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is even a bigger character and more love for comic book fans. Excited to see him on the bigger screen, not in the bad takes like from the original Fantastic Four
Yeah.
movies. So
Yeah.
they want to see the MCU do it properly. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. And it's funny because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I'm excited for all like any Spider-Man stuff related coming out, like whether it's the animation movies, whether it's even the Prime Video special with Spider-Man Noir coming out. Like I'm excited for anything Spider-Man related. Brand New Day. It's going to be a great story to see Tom Holland trying to pretty much grow and be the actual Spider-Man. Most likely, he's going to kind of revert to the Tobey Maguire type feel where he's by himself, starting to grow up. So it's going to be good to see that play out. But if MCU, in my opinion, can execute the next 2-3 movies very well, I think you'll start to build the hype around again. Because honestly, anyone can be really excited for the MCU movies. It just depends on how well they're executing. And in the past, with their solo movies that they came out in between the Avengers movie and now, a lot of them were a big hit or miss. So
Yeah.
I think it's a huge test for them to see what's going to be good going forward.
Yeah, I think they have to hit, especially on Doom. I mean, Spider-Man's going to hit. It's Spider-Man. Everybody loves Spider-Man. It's just a lovable character.
Yeah.
Everybody,
I was literally gonna say, I don't know if I've never heard anyone say the words "I don't like Spider-Man."
everybody loves
Like
Spider-Man.
I like most superhero movies, but I don't like Spider-Man. He might not be your favorite, but I don't know. It's like, nah, I don't like. Leave me on the Toby, Tom, and I hate all those movies.
yeah.
No one, I don't know a person that said that.
But Doomsday, they have to hit. I think if they want to move forward, then they have to use that movie to open up a whole lot of different storylines with characters that will continue. I mean, the fact that they're like, hey, this movie's taking place after Infinity War, and we're going to change that movie a little bit to make it make sense going into this, so you can just like disregard everything else that's come out since then. That's a little shaky. I don't love that, I must admit, but at the same time, I kind of do like that because I haven't watched a lot of the movies past Endgame because they weren't very good. So now I don't even have to worry about that, which is nice. But
Right.
they got, for moving forward, you have to make us care about these characters, because that's the biggest thing is I just don't care about a lot of these characters. And like I just said, I haven't seen the movies, so to be fair, I haven't even given a lot of them a chance. But what I've seen post Endgame for the most part, I haven't liked. And I'm not I don't just give blind loyalty to anyone, really. Like I don't think there's anyone that I'm just like, if you continue put out some bad stuff, I'm gonna stop watching. Like that's just the way it is. I don't want to go and see bad movies. I'll give you chances, but if you keep disappointing me, I'm not just gonna keep going back. So Doomsday has got to hit, and I'm not super high on it right now. Nothing really that in the trailers has really grabbed me yet, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about Doomsday?
Or I'll let you go.
I think, especially watching Fantastic Four come out, it's up in the air, because I personally thought that they should have went a different route. to begin with after they did end with Endgame. Obviously, Sony has the rights to Spider-Man, and I was pulling for Null to be the big bad, but obviously, they can't really go that route. They did incorporate him in the last Venom movie, which was pretty god darn awful in my opinion. But it goes to show that obviously whatever happened with Jonathan Majors and his domestic violence issues, obviously they got that all sorted out. Once they switched over to Doctor Doom, they obviously brought back Robert Downey Jr. to bring back all the fans that were questioning the capabilities of the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Endgame. And obviously the pandemic, it definitely played a part to it. So as far as Doomsday in its own right, I think it'll be fine. I just feel like they did a really good job with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They did a good job with Deadpool and Wolverine. They did a good job with Fantastic Four. So now that they've transitioned into this new wave of releasing movies later on and not just culminating everything into a year, because I remember in like 2022 or 2023, they released like 4 or 5 movies in a year, and the qualities, it wasn't really as great as it once was. So I feel like with Doomsday, they just simply can't mess it up. That's all I'm going to say, because you have the star power in the movie. You know what to expect. We know that Doctor Doom is going to be the main focus in this movie, and it's just going to be great to see the newer Avengers coming into play. Obviously, they did bring back Chris Evans. Chris Hemsworth as Thor is going to be really good. I know he's going to be like the main head to it, but overall, my expectation going into the movie is 10 out of 10. I guess we'll find out when it comes out in December what it'll be at that point.
You're not leaving much wiggle room for you to be disappointed.
Yeah, right.
That's almost a guaranteed disappointment at that point, but
yeah, right. Like at this point, you just assume like it's gonna be good, or if it's not, then I'm not.
But at the same time, I don't really blame you, because it kind of has to be that, because like they did their thing with the Infinity Saga. Everybody loved it. And then they tried to do something new, and it didn't really work. So now they're like, okay, let's just bring RDJ back and bring Chris Evans back. Let's just go back to what people liked. And if it doesn't hit, then where do we go from here? You gotta start again all over with new characters and trying to, like you were saying earlier in the episode, was like, you love original stories. Like, we want to see new stuff. You just have to do it well. Like you said, they're just pumping out content and the quality's not there. That doesn't mean that we don't want new stories. You just have to do it to the level that you were doing it before, and make us care about the characters instead of just throwing big explosions and CGI monsters in front of our face.
No, for sure. Yeah, I don't know.
And that's why.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dion.
Oh no, my bad. I was just gonna say, I actually wanted to like put my flag up for Thunderbolts, because they made me care about those guys. When I first saw the trailer for that, I was like, that's just like another one of these movies.
I did forget about that.
But I watched the movie, and I was like, okay, this is a movie. Yeah, I know it's it's a lot of people didn't like, because like kind of forgot about it. But I remember watching it and being like, okay, this was actually just like a solid movie about these characters, and they all kind of have their things. It's mostly Florence Pugh that carried that movie, but that made me care about that character, which kind of just felt like a side character for Black Widow. That was just kind of like, oh, she's in these now? Okay, she's on the side. But they got so much into that character and her struggles and like her character arc, which I was like, okay, I actually kind of care about this group. I'm interested to see them again, because it was kind of like a fun ride that I had with them. So as far as Doomsday goes, yeah. I don't know if the movie wants us to be excited for the future, or just kind of be like, remember how good it was before?
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a good recipe for going forward.
No, I get it. Like, for example, it's like, you kind of get that feeling, obviously, when they brought back RDJ and Chris Evans. Like, do they just want to keep making money and living in the past, or are we actually going to progress and make better movies and create bigger stories going forward? To me, when I instantly saw that, I was excited because it's RDJ. Like, I think he's just so entertaining to watch on the screen.
Yeah.
But the actual viewer in me, I was just like, this is kind of lazy. And that's the instant reaction I had. I was like, this is lazy. I'm like, you guys could have done a bigger and better story. But now bringing back in RDJ ties in so many more things to the story as well. So I'm just curious to see how it plays out. at this point. Like you said, Scott, like it has to hit at this point. And if it doesn't, then it's going to be very interesting to see what Marvel does to reroute things, because like we saw it in the past, they're not afraid to just reroute right away like nothing.
Yeah. I honestly, if this doesn't hit, I think that's what you do. Like you just restart. Like why not? Like you have this, you did the whole Avengers thing. That doesn't mean do Avengers again, but you can still just you can have a new Iron Man, you can have a new Captain America, you can have a new Hulk, you can have because these are characters that you've already made us care about, and like you've built kind of this following of that people will come out to see these movies, and you've introduced the whole multiverse, so you can kind of just multiverse away something, or you can make some Doctor Strange kind of blows everything up. You can do whatever the hell you want, right? Like we've seen DC do it, and I'm not saying that that's the blueprint. Don't follow what they're doing, but like I'm just saying it can be done, and we're not going to be like, oh, what the hell? That's not Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. It's like these are movies. Like he's not going to be Tony forever. At some point we'll have to restart, and that's fine.
But Hugh Jackman will be Wolverine forever.
True. He will be Wolverine.
Forever.
No matter what, he's 60, 70, he will still somehow make his way, get his body in shape for Wolverine.
If I could jump back to Spider-Man real quick, though, I did want to say, like, because Dion was saying, he has some hesitation. I'm all in on this movie. I think the trailer was dope. I was worried before that, actually. I was like, after the last one, like him being alone, I thought kind of that would maybe overpower the Spider-Man stuff. Like it would just be him kind of finding who he is as Peter Parker, which is still interesting. But like it's a Spider-Man movie. I want to see Spider-Man do some cool stuff. And the fact that we see him, like he's waking up in webs. So like he's getting a genetic mutation. Maybe he's losing his web shooters. Like I've never seen that before.
Like the man spider.
That's really cool. Yeah. I don't see, and I'm not a massive comic book guy. So like I haven't read the comics, so I don't know those stories. So that's totally new for me. So whatever that happens, I'm excited to see it. And I mean, the mind jumping like villain that we kind of got a tease for, like that looks dope. I'd never seen that before. There's the Hand, which is a Punisher villain. Like there's a whole lot going on here that I'm really interested to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers that are going to be brought into these Spider-Man movies and Avengers movies. Like you said, it's just there's going to be so much and so much for the audience to take in. It's just how well can they manage and execute it all together is what we're looking for and what we want, because we've seen other Marvel movies where they've done this, where they brought in so many things at once and they didn't execute because it's just too much going on at once and didn't give some characters enough story, enough time or viewing. But if they're able to do it very well, especially with the long layover we had for the last Marvel movies, I think with a lot of ability to like have that time, they can definitely make it accurate and give enough for the audience to feel like this is a big screen movie that you got to go to the theaters and watch.
I think Doomsday also has a long ass runtime, so it just they're giving themselves more time to give characters.
It's like almost 4-hour movie.
They did the whole rollout of the cast, and there's like 50 chairs there, so it's like, okay, we got to care about all these characters. That's gonna take a long time,
for sure. But yeah, movies, I guess like that's something that we could tell, like all of us talking about it, we're passionate about MCU wise. But I want to quickly switch gears to sports, because I know you guys are big hoop fans as well.
Yeah, man.
NBA guys. I know we usually on our podcast we talk about all things sports related, but we're gonna keep it to pretty much NBA because that's something that you guys and we have in common. So I want to quickly talk about basically your guys' favorite teams and what your current thoughts on the NBA playoffs currently.
Go ahead, Dion.
Scott, you can go. Oh, okay, you want me to go? Okay. Well, my favorite team is Orlando Magic, unfortunately. Very painful last 3 games to watch. That's kind of the ugliest basketball I've seen in my life, to be honest. I mean, it is. Watching them blow that, it was almost like the Rockets when they missed those 33s in a row. It was watching them just miss 20 field goals in a row, and watching Tobias Harris cook my team is disgusting. But
he's yelling at Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler over me? I'm Tobias Harris. You can do it back to him now.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh man. But I became an Orlando Magic fan just because like I was a Raptors fan, and then they drafted on Bargnani, and I was like, all right, I'm done with these guys. These guys don't know what they're doing. what? Let me look around the league. Like, who else knows what they're doing?
Yeah, the
I
Magic.
liked Dwight and what was going on in the Magic. I liked that Dwight was a monster. That team was fun to watch. Then he like that same year he won the dunk contest, Superman stuff. I was on board. It took him another year, and then they went against Kobe, and then Kobe beat them in the finals, and then he got his injuries and stuff like that. But I've been riding with him ever since. Tobias Harris was our guy at one point. Oladipo, those weren't great. Those weren't great years. But now we got Paolo. Franz is always hurt, but that's kind of how I am right now, and we'll see how we go going forward.
New coach coming in.
Yeah,
you freaking need it.
We'll see.
Paolo at the 3-point line just pisses me off. That guy, he's like the worst shooter of all-star players. It's like with a minimum jump shot or 500 shots or whatever, he's like the worst percentage shooting. So like to have him roaming they should be doing what the Sixers are doing with Embiid. I say that as they're down 3-0 right now, but like they like have him in the high post, have him at the free throw line, catch the ball, and then he can get downhill. Like, why is he? Paolo's game is not 3-point line 1-on-1 off the dribble. Like, I feel like back to the basket, he can do some damage, but at the same time, like if you're playing the Magic, you just pack the paint. Nobody can shoot.
Yeah, the tough thing is that like, you guys are making me relive my nightmares of analyzing what I would go through as a fan. But it's weird because when Paolo's in there, obviously Paolo is better than Franz. Because my brother always asks me, is Franz low key better? Because the team plays better when Franz is on the court because they move the ball around. Mm-hmm. They move the ball around. Franz is just as good as a slasher as Paolo. He's not as good as like a mid range, like that little turn jumper and stuff like that. But the team does way better. Like Black gets involved, De Silva gets involved. Like the team is just like, it's great. We went on winning streaks when Paolo was out. Paolo comes back and he's very ball dominant. He's kind of like LeBron in that sense, but at least with LeBron always surrounds himself with shooters. So if LeBron will do his thing, then kick it out to like a J.R. Smith or whoever
Luke
it is,
Kennard.
and they're canning that.
Getting buckets.
Yeah, exactly. Luke Kennard. But Paolo's doing that. He's kicking it out, and then Suggs is 1 for 11 from the 3-point line, and everyone else just brick city. So it's like, Paolo, do your thing, and then kick it out for someone to brick it, and it's just like, it's so painful to watch. It's so painful. They need to fix their offense. That's. What about you, Scott? I'm done breaking my heart over here.
As you can see behind me, I am a Sixers fan. Allen Iverson is the reason I am a Sixers fan. When I was young, he was just cooking the league, and he was just so cool. I wanted to be Iverson. Everybody wanted to be. I was really short growing up, so I was like that short guard. I loved AI. So I went through some dark times. The process, oh my God, worst team in basketball for years. And then we finally got Embiid, and then he's always hurt. And then, like we go against Celtics and lose to them year after year. This year we got past them. I was very happy to see that, but now we're down 3-0 against the Knicks. Probably cooked. I was pissed that they played Embiid game 1, man. Game 7, you went to game 7 with Boston. Tough series. He's super injury prone. Right. You're not going to win that game 1. The Knicks were just coming off a 60-point W against the Hawks where they dismantled them, and they had a couple more days of rest too. They weren't going to win that game at home in New York. They weren't going to win that game. Sit Embiid. Nope, they played him, lost by a bunch. So they sat him for game 2, which was a 5-point game, and they lost. So if you play Embiid game 2, maybe you get that win. It's 1-1. You come home. It's not a must-win game. That game 3 was then a must-win because they lost the first 2. They didn't get it done, and now the season's almost certainly over.
Yeah. No, but honestly, one thing I'll talk about the Sixers real quick. Very surprising team, in my opinion. I didn't expect them to honestly be this much of a force going into the playoffs, because the question with Embiid is always up in the air, and that's always how the team is going to go, right? It's either ride or die with the way that Embiid plays. But honestly, one of my favorite players to see in the league is Tyrese Maxey. Watching him play is always great. And Maxey's one of the best point guards, showing why he's one of the best point guards in the league when he gets the chance to pretty much run the offense. And you can tell when Embiid comes back, in my opinion, the Sixers offense does start to become a little stagnant because you can see it. They just feed Embiid the ball in the post and everybody gets the hell out of the way. And that kind of wasn't the Sixers formula going, and what made them going into the playoffs, right? Because they got to the playoffs by Maxey's dominant play. They kind of got away from that as Embiid came back, and I get it. Embiid is your best player.
Is he?
I wish that the Sixers was able to pretty much let Maxey do his flow and also incorporate Embiid at the same time as well.
So, yeah, I totally agree. I think Embiid, but at the same time, like, I don't think he's the one that's like dominating the ball. Like, he's asking for the rock constantly. Like, I think that it's a coaching decision. I think it's also like the players kind of feel like they need to do that because he's Joel Embiid. So they're like, okay, there he is. We got to give him the ball. But what pisses me off so much about him is like he'll catch the ball in the low block and like literally all you have to do is drop step dunk, and you could do it on more than half the league. There's only a couple players that you can't do that against, and instead he's pivot, dribble, up fake, and then try and get an and one and fall on the ground. And he's on the ground so much, and you're 7 feet tall, like 250 or whatever. Like, this is why you're always hurt, bro. Stop flopping. Like, just go up, go strong to the basket. When you were doing that, you won MVP. Like, you could nobody in this league can stop you. Like, when you keep flopping for fouls, that's why you're getting hurt when you don't need to do it. That's why it pisses me off so much. But what I will say, I think looking forward, I'm excited about the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey is entering his prime, and he's a stud. VJ Edgecombe, this rookie, is balling. I think he's going to continue to develop into a great player, can be a great backcourt for years to come. I mean, I was glad to see Paul George hooping this year. Like, he's playing well. I don't know if like how much longer he's got, but even I keep saying to Dion, man, it only has to work once. True. He was on that juice. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, maybe. Hey, do it again next year. Get a 25 game suspension and come back into the playoffs. 25 year suspension. Yeah. Hey, I think the future. I'm excited about the Sixers.
Yeah,
and I haven't been able to say that for a while.
Yeah.
I know you guys are your Celtics and Mavs fans, right?
Was that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I am a Dallas Mavericks fan, and it's been a weird 3 years.
Luka trade. Tell me, what would you think?
Well, before I get into that, let me talk about.
Okay.
There's a lot I need to talk about with the Dallas Mavericks because their organization is all over the place. First things first, it all went downhill when we hired Nico Harrison, and everybody knows that. So I talk about Farden. I tell Farden this all the time. I tell my other people that I talk sports with all the time. One of the worst moves that he ever did was not pay Jalen Brunson. And
yeah, facts.
I get it. Like, nobody knew what type of player Jalen Brunson was going to become because he needed his own team to go do that. He probably was never going to be that player on the Dallas Mavericks with Luka being there. But in reality, who would have thought Luka Doncic would be gone even, right? So one thing that always pissed me off was Jalen Brunson. I think that year he actually carried the Mavericks into the Western Conference semifinals because Luka was already hurt that year. He won 2 games by himself by Jalen Brunson. That kind of showed snippets of how good he can be.
Mm-hmm.
But Jalen Brunson, even I've seen in interviews where he was willing to take money from the Mavericks if they paid him.
Mm-hmm.
But decided that he was going to go to New York, join his dad on the coaching staff, and pretty much get the keys to that franchise right there because they were willing to pay him. So at that point, I couldn't say anything to Brunson. I just hate that Nico Harrison didn't offer him what he wanted. But it is what it is. After that, the Dallas Mavericks pretty much were in a stagnant position until they were able to get Kyrie Irving. And that was another big player. So I remember Kyrie Irving was at that time getting pretty much shunned away from the league from the Brooklyn Nets because his stance on COVID and everything that he was going through with the media. A lot of people were starting to try to, like, I guess what the term they used to call blackball him, right? They were trying to blackball him from the league. But Kyrie Irving is so much of a phenomenal talent that you just can't do that with someone that's on the court. And we saw that when Kyrie Irving was playing on the court, he was a different player. He was a different animal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Kyrie Irving's one of my favorite point guards I've ever seen play because he's absolutely nasty when he gets the ball.
Easily one of the most entertaining players of all time.
Yeah, for sure. So when they brought him over, a lot of people were curious, like, okay, can Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving play together? How is that going to work? But I knew that Kyrie Irving was at a different mindset where he was able to not be ball dominant and start to position to the shooting guard position, where it was going to be able to do his own flow, shoot the ball, drive the ball. That's what he was going to do. And they were able to surround Luka Doncic with a lot of help, where we got PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, and we got a big, good team, which pretty much took us to the finals. And we got to the finals. I never thought the Dallas Mavericks would make the finals because we got through huge monsters. We played the Timberwolves, we played the Thunder, and we made it to the finals with Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic did end up getting hurt again, going into the finals, and we knew that at that point they weren't going to beat the hot Celtics team at that time because they were Jason Tatum was starting to get into flow. Jaylen Brown was doing his thing. They had Drew Holiday at the time, who was a lockdown point guard defender, playing really well on Kyrie Irving, pretty much shut him down the entire finals. And we just knew that, okay, we're not going to beat the Celtics this year, but it was a great sign to see the Dallas Mavericks back in the finals again since 2011.
And then what happened?
And then what happened was the craziest thing ever. Funny enough, me and Farden were actually on vacation. We were actually together. We were in Miami. Oh, no, sorry, not in Miami. We were in Fort Lauderdale. We were actually at the casino. And we were just, walking around the casino, looking for table games to play. And then we hear this guy walk past us. He's like, Luka Doncic traded. And I'm like, I remember him and me, we did a double take. We looked at each other, looked at the random dude, and I remember the random dude's just shaking his head like, yeah, that happened.
Wow.
And we check our phones immediately. We didn't have our phones on us because we were just in the casino doing our thing.
Yeah.
We check our phones immediately, and we're like, Luka Doncic traded for Anthony Davis. And my entire day was just mind-blowing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is happening? Why are we trading probably the top 3 player in the league at that time, Luka Doncic? Like, what?
That's why? Like 25 years old for a broken AD that's hurt all the time, and
made no sense to me.
He's literally a walking fragile sign.
I will admit that it's a horrible trade just based on like the age thing and Luka's impact on the offensive end of the floor. But I also would be remiss if I didn't mention that I am a Luka hater. I think he's in that James Harden category of a great player, not necessarily playoff, because he doesn't fold in the playoffs. I'm not putting him that, like, I'm not putting that juju on him with James Harden. Just in the fact that, like, I don't think his play style can win a championship. I think the offensive stud that is a cone on defense and a full offensive hub that relies completely on you to distribute, make plays, score, bring the ball up, everything. I just don't think it's sustainable for 16 wins in the playoffs. I mean, he got to the finals doing it, but then, like you said, he got hurt going to the finals. And I think on defense, like, you can't be that bad. Like, the Celtics were just going at him every single play because he's terrible on defense, and they were just scoring. Like, he get a 30-point triple-double, but he's also giving up 50 on the other end. So, like, I just don't think you can win with that play style.
No, you can't. And it's obvious. That's why the Mavericks, they decided, like, they just thought that this is going to be the way to go because, one, the question was also he's never healthy because he's not getting himself in shape. That was another big thing that people were always talking about. So, like, at that time, they just decided that was going to be the way to go. And obviously, Nico Harrison, he probably took a lot of flack for it, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. That trade was never going to get approved until the owner okayed it.
True.
And one thing about the Mavericks is everybody knows that they had the most eclectic owner in the NBA, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban sold that team 2 years ago. So he was he was not out there. So I knew if Mark Cuban was the owner of that team, that trade would have never happened.
Oh, never. Yeah.
He would have never let Luka Doncic go. And he automatically spoke to the media immediately about the trade. Like, he was like, yeah, I would have never let that happen. And it just showed you right then and there that the Mavericks decided, you know what, we're going to be a more different team going forward, where they want to build for a more unit team instead of a one-dimensional play style, like you said, with Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
And they traded him to the Lakers. Obviously, that didn't work out because now Anthony Davis is not even on our team anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy to me.
But Adam Silver did his thing and, like, pulled some strings.
I was going to say, you guys got the little cheating thing going on with this. Let's just give it to them. Let's just give them
Flag. It's all good.
So we we got Cooper Flag. And Cooper Flag, I was a little worried in the first 2 weeks of the NBA season because Cooper Flag, super young, 17, 18 years old, got into the league, did not look like he was NBA ready in the first 2 weeks. Started to develop flow. Jason Kidd started to build the offense around him, let him do his thing, and it was right then and there he took off immediately and started getting better and better as the season went on. Dropped a 40 ball, 50 ball, like Cooper Flag started balling out of his mind. And
setting records
as a rookie. One Rookie of the Year. I know it was pretty much up in the air between him and his Duke teammate Con Knuppel. Yeah. So that was up in the air, but Cooper Flag won it. And for the Mavs' future going forward, we're back in the lottery pick. I think I don't know if you guys know much about the NBA draft coming up or the talent that's in this.
Oh, how they're
NBA draft.
yeah. No, it's crazy draft.
There's a
That's why
really
everyone's
good draft.
tanking.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tanking has been, oh my God, it's been brutal, man. Just
Everyone's
unapologetic.
tanking. For sure. And I think there's a main reason why, because this year there's a loaded class. Like there's a lot of star potential players in this year's NBA draft. So the Mavs are back in the lottery. We'll see how they get. I think Sunday they're doing the draft reveal.
Sunday, you're right.
So we'll find out where the Mavericks place there. If they're able to get another top lottery pick, it could possibly change the whole like Mavs organization situation, because we all know Cooper Flag's going to be the one that carries us. And we're going to have Kyrie Irving back, to see him back in the leader position, where he's pretty much more now comfortable to do that back than he was ready when he left the Cavaliers to join the Celtics. They wanted him to take that role, but he wasn't ready for that role back then. But now it seems like he is ready to accept that role. So for me, the Mavs' future, I'm excited to see how it goes. There's a lot upside, and it's going to be mostly based off how Cooper Flag plays.
I'm curious, though.
For sure.
Like, Kyrie is a great player, 100%, but like, is he really in the future plans for this team? Because Cooper Flag, like he's super young. You're gonna, if you want to draft a running mate for him this year, so you'll have two young guys. So like, you're maybe thinking in the, like 3 to 4 or 5 years from now, kind of thing. Does Kyrie really fit that timeline? Like, is this a player that you would like to see traded, maybe, or to maximize his potential? Like, see him ball out for the first half of this year and then trade him away?
See, like for me, I think Kyrie Irving is starting to transition into that vet position where he's going to just be on that team, cheering on I think he's going to be on that team as long as he wants to be there. I think, because I think the Mavs organization accepted him really well, because I know for sure at that time when he was on the Brooklyn Nets, he felt like he was getting blackballed. Nobody wanted him. So I know as a player's mindset, when a team really wants you and wants you to be there, you could develop a lot more loyalty for that team. And you can see it with Dallas. Like, Dallas treats him really well. Like, they love to have him there. I know he started opening up restaurants in Dallas as well. Like, he's starting to kind of, like, build his life there, like, going forward. So I don't see why not. Like, he could stay on that team. Obviously, for example, in my opinion, there's a player that I really want in this draft is Darius Acuff Jr. If we're able to get him with Kyrie Irving mentoring him, that's an amazing point guard to put with Cooper Flag.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah. It'd be like what CP did for Shea.
That's exactly
mentorship.
Like that's the type of mentorship that I can see happening. So I think Kyrie could definitely start to be in that role, like a CP3 going on a team where he's like de facto leader, the ball handler, the guys that know he could do that. And I can definitely see Kyrie be the type of player where he's going to get his buckets, but when he's mostly going to start to distribute, I think he could definitely do that. So the Mavs' future, in my opinion, I think it's pretty up there if they're able to execute it well.
I see what you're saying about Kyrie taking that mentorship role, but like the problem I see with that is that, like I said, 3 to 4 years from now, let's say, when Cooper's, maybe starting to enter his prime, because like I don't think you can win a championship next year with a second-year Cooper Flag and a rookie, even if he's a top pick. It's going to take a couple of years for them to really like get some battle wounds. You have to go to the playoffs and lose and kind of learn. So if 3 to 4 years from now, is Kyrie going to be playing at the level that he can be part of a big three on a championship team? Yes, you get those 3 to 4 years of mentorship for, your top pick that you're bringing in. But is there more value in trading him when his value is higher right now, when he's younger and he's playing well, to get someone that's a little bit younger that fits that timeline better?
Yeah, I think you can do it, but I honestly just think the Mavs love him too much, like the organization himself, that they don't want to even do it.
But what would you want to do?
With me, I wouldn't trade him because I just feel like there's a lot more value in Kyrie Irving. Maybe I would just bias. I love Kyrie Irving as a player.
That's fair.
But I just think because like I know that he's the type of player that can bring out a lot more in someone else, and we saw it on that finals run where he was the de facto leader on that team, and he won a game-winning shot. I remember one of the biggest shots was against Denver that season, where he hit like a left-handed flip shot over
insane.
Jokic.
That was a crazy shot.
That was insane. At that point, people knew, all right, Kyrie Irving's still that guy, and when he gets the chance to be on the floor, he can be himself, but he can also distribute, and was able to get Luka Doncic to play even better, more more offensive player than he already is. We were able to get Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, those big guys, the lobs. So I just think that if you keep Kyrie Irving, yeah, there's a lot of value to trade him right now. Probably a little bit less ever since coming back from an Achilles injury.
Yeah, that's why I say you got to let him play a little bit this year to like showcase that he still got it.
If we're out there, if the Mavs are pushing to make a pretty much a contending run, which I doubt because we're just not going to have enough. But if we're able to trade Kyrie Irving for pieces to do that, I just don't think it's worth it because, like you said, Cooper Flag isn't really ready to be that pivotal piece to run a championship team yet.
Right.
So I think it's better off to hold it in, see what Kyrie Irving can bring out of more players and younger players, and we'll see how it goes from there. So, but for me personally, I wouldn't trade Kyrie right now.
Okay.
That's fair. What about you, Farden? How do you feel about your Celtics? And you got JB on his Twitch, a little cheese right now, but
spazzing out.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This playoff season, it kind of opened my eyes up to say that the Celtics, they're better off who they have now, especially with the development of certain players. But I feel like over the years, and I've told Faz this many times, even in like the last 10 years or so, the thing that the Celtics lacked was a big man. And we saw Joel Embiid just expose us. We saw Jaylen Brown guarding him. We saw Hugo Gonzalez guarding him. You have small individuals guarding arguably the most dominant offensive big man in the league right now. So at this point, there's not that many big men out there that we could get. I know earlier on in the season, I was clamoring for them to get Vucevic, but Vucevic, he's not what he once used to be. He still could get you like 10 and 10, whatever it is. But I saw that they wanted to get Nick Claxton over the offseason. There were clamorings about them getting Daniel Gafford from the Mavericks. But being a Celtics fan this year, I had zero expectations. I know when the season started, I said that they were going to be probably a play-in team. But overall, they exceeded expectations. Like Jaylen Brown, he played like an MVP candidate. Obviously, Jason Tatum, he came back like in the last 16 games. He was still trying to get into the rhythm. But I feel like what my problem is now with the team is what's next for them, because I've seen a lot of success. I've been a Boston Celtic fan since 2004. So I saw the 2008 championship. I obviously saw them get to the finals against the Warriors in 2022. They won the title against the Mavericks in 24. And obviously last year hurt my soul like you've never imagined, because being a Boston fan in New York, it sucks. Like it absolutely is like a slap to the face, especially dealing with that, like numerous Knicks fans every single day. They were clamoring in my ear like, oh, you guys can't beat us, this and that. But in reality, in my opinion, what I feel like happened was they beat themselves. They had 2 20-point leads in the first 2 games. They just kept shooting threes, try to like make the lead a little bit better, or like higher rather. But overall, I just feel like as of right now, we're in a good position. I hope that they do get a big man, but I also feel like they should get a point guard, because you don't really have that facilitator. Like we had Drew Holiday, but he wasn't what he once was. Granted, he did help us get to the finals and actually win the championship, but we'll see. Peyton Pritchard, he's a really good player, but I don't think he's a good starting caliber point guard. So obviously there's rumblings about Ja Morant leaving. Do I want to see him in Boston? I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. I just feel like
why would you want to still see that
are
guy
in
Boston?
The window. Jason Tatum and I don't know. I just feel like he has this superstar capability to help us get over the hump, because this was supposed to be a gap year. So it would be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I do agree with you. Like they very much exceeded expectation. I think everyone was saying it's gonna be a lottery team. Tatum's gonna be gone, but yeah, my dad is a big Boston fan. I have family that grew up in Boston, and the reason my dad's a huge Celtics fan is because every summer when he was a kid, he'd go to Boston and hang out with our cousins there. So like he's got that huge Boston fandom. So like it's to an annoying degree. I respect that you're a Celtics fan, but I don't like the Celtics because my dad is such a big Celtics fan. So, but I do agree though. Like I think what Jaylen Brown did this year, I don't know. How do you feel about what he said about him saying? I'm curious to hear Celtics fan here. The fact that he said this is my favorite season that I've ever had, and Tatum didn't play in it. Like, do you think that's coded message, or you think that's just a coincidence, or there's nothing behind that?
I think personally, he just was the star of the show for pretty much the whole season. And when you have, like, you could say that the two J's, they're 1A, 1B. So when you just have 1A on the floor, you're going to obviously feel the way you feel. And I feel like the media, it definitely showed us that they're trying to break them up. And this is probably arguably a top five duo of all time, in my opinion. Like, you could say there's Shaq and Kobe, there's John and Carl, there's Michael and Scotty, there's LeBron and D Wade. But Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they've reached heights that we haven't really seen. Granted, they only have one ring to show for it, but they did run into LeBron in the earlier stages of their career. They did run into Steph Curry, who was on some godlike mission against us in that 2022 NBA Finals.
Holy.
Yeah, and now that they won a ring, people were saying like, "Oh, they had a super team," but they don't build a roster. But at the end of the day, I think next season, if they could build the right pieces around them, not necessarily build that super team that people were clamoring that they did, I think they could get over the hump and probably win a title next season. Obviously, it's too early to say, especially with the moves that they got to make. But overall, I'm excited to see what they go do moving forward. But as far as Jaylen Brown, I feel like people are saying like, oh, they should trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis. But in my opinion, as much as I do love Giannis, he's still very injury prone. So seeing him in a Boston Celtic uniform, trading Jaylen Brown for him, who I was telling Faz, I was like, you trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis. You have two guys that one guy's basically playing on one leg or was playing on one leg, and then Giannis, who gets hurt for approximately like a quarter of the season. So I don't want him to leave, and I hope he doesn't leave, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think they should. I mean, they've won a championship together. They've played well together. Like, everyone always says the similarity thing, their games are too similar, but like their games are versatile. So if you have two players that are similar in a play style, but that play style is versatile, they can both score from the inside, the mid range, and the outside. So that means you can put them wherever you want on the court, do whatever you want with them in the offense. So who cares if they play similar? You could go back and forth. Like, this is your possession, this is your possession. Like, it keeps them fresher throughout the whole game. You can rotate them as well. Like, there's times where one is on the court without the other. You can the whole game have one of them on the court the whole time. So like, I don't think there's any reason to move them. You just got to build around them.
I would also admit that they do play a lot of hero ball. And I know that's been like the main thing in like the second half of games, where they both just keep isolating plays and trying to get the open shot. And we see Jaylen Brown trying to do too much when it comes to like creating contact to draw fouls and pushing off. We definitely saw that against the Sixers, where, you had VJ Edgecombe, you had Tyrese Maxey guarding him, and he would just throw like a random elbow, and obviously it creates the offensive fouls. But Jason Tatum, I feel like when he gets the opportunity to ISO, he just takes too many jump shots. Like, bro, you are 6'9" and you have a smaller defender on you. There's no reason for you to not get into the paint. I get it, Joel Embiid was in the paint, but he's still hampered as well. So that's something that they failed to do, and they failed to do that against the Knicks last season, because they were pretty much the title contender favorites going into last season anyways. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we didn't see it, and obviously Joe Mazzulla, I don't know what he's going to do this offseason to change up that flow that this team has, but I need to see some change. Like, it's just unfair to us watching it when we know that they have the capabilities to not necessarily blow out teams, but win games big. And we just trying to keep shooting. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot at the end of the day.
That's that live by the three, die by the three thing, man. They just, that's their whole identity, and that's what they're going to do. And I get coaches' mentalities when, like, even when it's not working, they're like, okay, but this is what got us here. This is what we've been doing the whole year. So like, sometimes it's not going to work, but like, we're playing the numbers, and more often than not, it's going to work, and we're going to win games. Yeah. But that just means sometimes it's not going to work. And if you're not hitting shots, then you're going to lose. And when you're up big, do you just keep raining threes, or do you want to slow down the game and take time off the clock and just, try and get twos and maintain your lead? But if that's your team identity, I get not wanting to go away from that.
For sure. And then, since quickly, I want to talk about the NBA playoffs since we're pretty much like almost nearly wrapping up at this point. But I want to know what you guys think is right now who you guys have winning the whole chip. So, like, because a lot of these teams right now, it's obvious like they're being competitive, but I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't say I wouldn't speak for you guys, but like I kind of feel like everyone in the world kind of knows where this is going to end up going to. So, what do you guys think is who do you guys think is going to win the championship this year?
I'm not at the same level as Scott with the Luka thing, but I don't know why I've established myself as being a Wemby hater, so I don't want to see Wemby in them win. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like the hyper glazing, and like every time I talk to someone, I'll be like, "This guy's gonna win 5 MVPs. The league he's gonna win all the championships." So I think there's a little bit of me. You guys can relate to this. I think the Wemby thing, which is like a little bit of like Roman Reigns, I feel like they're shoving him down my throat. And I'm like, no. This is Wemby's the big dog to me right now. I'm not feeling him too much right now. Maybe he'll turn on, he'll become a tribal chief and stuff, and then maybe I'll be on board with that. But right now, I think it's too much. And I'm like, there's other guys like Luka's still here, Jokic's still here, Shea, and these guys are monsters. I don't know why we're already giving the league to Wemby. Like this guy's in his first ever playoffs. I don't see it yet. Down the road, sure. So I want OKC to win. My prediction was actually OKC versus like the Celtics. I thought that was going to happen because the Celtics were like came around and like, okay, these guys they're back, they're locked in. East is theirs. I think the Knicks are going to choke. Now I don't know. Now I still don't know in the East. I think Detroit and the Knicks are a lot closer than maybe it may seem. I think that's unpredictable series, but OKC, I think they just got it. I think.
What about you, Scott? Oh.
Yeah, I think OKC is definitely still the favorite. I mean, they won it last year and they look just as good, to be honest. Like they're just not losing. Like they're just beating everybody because they're better than everybody. And I mean, there's no reason to believe that that's going to change, right? Like if the Spurs get past Minnesota, which one will be a tougher series, which means that they'll come into that OKC series, like a little more bruised and tired and whatever. So that makes it tougher. But San Antonio is a good team, man. Wemby is him, despite what Dion just fed you. Wemby is him. And, you got De'Aaron Fox, who is a proven closer that can handle the ball, get you big buckets. You got shooters around that can actually hit shots. They got defensive monsters and Stephon Castle, Wemby himself. Like they're a tough team, and maybe not this year, but maybe next year. Like if they get into the Western Conference Final against OKC and beat them, I wouldn't be completely shocked. They beat them all regular season, and playoffs regular season are very different, but I wouldn't be completely shocked.
No, for sure. And for me, like I had my original prediction. I had the Knicks and Spurs to start the season off, and I just thought the Knicks were ready to take that hump and pretty much get to the finals. And it looks like they're picking up their play. It looked a little rocky against the Hawks, but they were able to pick up their play, started really well, and now Brunson's pretty much looking unguardable as always in the playoffs. It's crazy when he's literally 6 foot, and there's just nobody can stop him.
Yeah, I know.
And Brunson's pretty much risen to like the top 3-point guard in the league, in my opinion, when he's on. And Brunson's playing really high. Cat is pretty much getting involved again. So when the Knicks are clicking, they're pretty well. On the West side, again, I think it's a toss-up between OKC, and I think it's pretty much the Spurs at this point, right? And that's been the talk of the town. We know the huge rivalry, if you know, between
Chet.
Wemby and Chet.
Yeah.
That goes way back into like before these guys even got into the league.
Yeah.
So like it's funny because every time they play each other, Wemby is literally just on. Like he just wants to do and pretty much downplay Chet every time they play. And I'm excited to see how that plays out. I do think it's going to be the Spurs and OKC in the Western Conference Finals. I just like you and Dion, like I think you said it perfectly. I think, like you said, they're going to come off a bruised and battered series against the Timberwolves. I think that's going to go 7. I think Wemby in a game 7 will pull it out because of just his defensive prowess and whatever he has. I think he just has that extra drive that you have, that you could see that he wants to get there. But I think, like you said, everyone said, and probably everyone agrees that OKC is just more well-rounded. They have too many stars. They have too many, not even stars. They have too many players that do their positions well enough to win them games. And that's usually what happens when the teams that win championships, they have a bunch of guys that are willing to do whatever it takes to win at their position. There's no one that's trying to overplay each other, overstep each other, because everyone knows that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's team and Chet Holmgren is pretty much that X factor, in my opinion, in every game. Because if Chet's on, then I think they're even harder to beat. Because it looks like their second best player, Jalen Williams, might even come back in the finals if they make it there, probably, because it looks like he's not even ready to go. I haven't heard anything even about him pretty much ready to go. But it doesn't matter at this point. They're doing it pretty well without him. So,
that's the scary thing. Yeah. That's one point I didn't even mention too. To go to your point on the J Will thing, it's like he's not even playing in their like he's playing sparingly, but he's not even at full strength, and they're just destroying people like this. Yeah. So I don't know what his availability is going to be like for the finals, but that definitely is a huge if he plays or not. That is a big factor.
I'll let you do your quick prediction. What do you think?
Yeah. So as much as it pays me to say this, I have the Knicks coming out the East right now. I had the Cavs to start the season to go to the finals. I felt like Donovan Mitchell, he was going to take that leap. And then obviously we didn't see this trade coming with James Harden going into Cleveland, but we know that when it comes to playoff time, James Harden just disappears. And that's exactly what he's been doing against the Detroit Pistons right now. But as far as the West goes, I know Faz knows this. I'm going to tell you guys straight up. I am the biggest OKC hater on the planet. I despise them. I think they're probably my second most hated team in the league behind the Warriors. I'll get to that another day. But as far as the OKC, they're gonna make the Western Conference Finals. I don't see any world where the Lakers do come back, even if Luka Doncic does come back. And as far as the Timberwolves and the Spurs go, I do think that this is going to be a 7-game series as well. I feel like Anthony Edwards, he's going to do just enough. But I feel like the team, they're going to miss that element of three-point shooting from Dante DiVincenzo because, he went out with the Achilles injury. But overall, the team needs to step up. Like Julius Randle, he hasn't really played well. Obviously, you have a 7'5" guy guarding the rim, so you're not going to be able to do the things that, Julius Randle, we know that he's capable of doing. But overall, I think it is going to be the Spurs and the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. I am going to take the Thunder as of right now. I don't see them. They're just like it's like the death taxes of the world, whereas death taxes on the Thunder just doing what they do, and they're going to make the finals. Yeah. And also, it's also going to pay me to say this as well. I think the Knicks win the title. I think they overcome the heat that is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think New York City is going to be a madhouse it's going to be a madhouse even if they make the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the finals. But if they win the finals, I got to go into hiding because it's just going to be intense because, the glazing is going to be crazy. There's going to be anarchy on the streets. There's going to be cars flip-flopping. There's going to be fires. Like we're obviously me and Faz, we're football fans. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the celebrations with football, but when the Philadelphia Eagles, when they won the Super Bowl, I think in 2024, a couple of years ago, there was chaos on the streets in Philly. And I can't even imagine what would happen if the Knicks win the finals, but damn it, I'm going to take the Knicks to win the finals this year.
Yeah, Scott's a Philly fan
Eagles
too.
fan
So
Eagles
fan, yeah, so he resonates with that. But to call back from me earlier, if the Knicks win, it's going to be like your movie 2012, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a nightmare because I'm going to be getting text messages left and right. Like I try to stay humble as possible because when the Celtics won the title in 2024, obviously the Celtics went up against the Mavericks. So, I was obviously me and Faz, we were going back and forth with it, but I try to stay humble because we win some, we lose some. And obviously last year it was tough when the Celtics got bounced by the Knicks, and that's crazy. I can't even imagine what will happen if they win the title because granted they haven't won the title in 50 years since late 70s. So it would be a great thing for the city too, because the city needs it. The Yankees, they've been trashed. They obviously lost to the Blue Jays last year. They got embarrassed by the Dodgers a couple of years ago. I'm a Jet fan, and it's been miserable being a Jet fan.
God.
Like the Giants, they did win the Super Bowl in 2020, in 2012, I believe. And overall, it would just be a great thing for the city. I'm rooting for the city, let alone the team. Let's just say that.
That's fair.
It's crazy. Like the New York sports scene, if you guys know about it, is insane. Like there's diehard New York sports fans everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And they're just clamoring for our championship because the New York. And it's funny, nobody talks about it. The New York scene, they did just recently win a championship, but it was the WNBA championship that no one is talking
Liberty.
about. The New York Liberty, they won, but no one cared about it.
Yeah, Knicks fans, dude, like that game 3 in Philly, dude, it was like a home game for the Knicks. Like you saw there's Timothy Chalamet, Tracy Morgan, Fat Joe, Spike Lee, the whole everybody. Yeah. And like those are just the celebrities that we know. There's still all sorts of Knicks fans that are just, I don't know if they're from Philly or if they're from New York and came over, probably a little, but there's just so many Knicks fans that like, no matter what series they're in, it's just going to be home games.
They're traveling.
Yeah. It's just going to be Knicks home games. So they'll always have that, which is like a crazy advantage, but it is what it is. And I didn't even actually make my pick, so I'll give you my official prediction. I'm going to go OKC I'll go Detroit. Screw it. I don't want the Knicks to win. I don't like the win. I don't like the Knicks. Well, not just because they're betting my team over, but I don't like Jalen Brunson. I don't like the way he flops for calls too. His little bitch ass braids jumping around when he's trying to get calls. I don't like that. So I'm gonna go with Detroit against the Thunder, and they're just gonna get waxed by the Thunder in the finals. So, all right. So we got animated movie draft. We didn't really confirm the rules if this is like stop motion counts and anime. I got some of those on my list. Do you guys have any strong opinions for or against that?
No.
Okay. So we'll say it counts. We can include those things, sure. So what we're doing is we got 5. We're each gonna have 5 movies, and at the end of the draft, you have to have one non-kids movie, which I guess is also kind of up to interpretation. We'll decide. We can veto it as a group if something is not a non-kids movie. You have to have one from the 2020s. You have to have one DreamWorks movie, one Disney Pixar movie, and then finally one wild card, which can be anything. So you have to have something in those categories, and then we'll just see who will vote, I guess, at the end, who has the best team, who wins the draft. We have a draft order. What is our order?
I was number 1. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Dion's just worried about himself. Okay.
I think it's Dion. I think it's Dion, then Scott, and then I think it's Farner, and then I'm going last.
And then we're gonna snake it. Okay.
Yep.
So so let's introduce round 1 of the Film Room Podcast X Pinfalls and Playbooks animated movie draft. That just rolls off the tongue, right? Dion, you have the first pick, sir.
All right, so with my first pick, it's kind of weird because it's a sequel movie, but it's one of my favorite animated movies. So I'm going with Toy Story 2. I'm taking.
What category?
It's a Pixar. That's Pixar.
I'm going Pixar, okay.
Disney Pixar.
Toy Story
So I'm rocking
2.
with that movie. Nothing really. I think the first movie is good, but like the animation doesn't hold as much. The animation holds a little better in the second one, and you also get Buckeye, you get Jesse. So that's I'm rocking with Toy Story 2.
All right, my first pick. I have a whole list here of stuff, but I didn't actually like rank what I should actually go with. So I'm gonna go in the non-kids because I feel like there's just less there. And I'm gonna take Fantastic Mr. Fox in the non-kids animated movie. That's a fun movie that has a lot of humor that I didn't expect in it, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good movie.
Yep.
It's a good movie. It's a good pick. Borders that line of kids and non-kids.
Yeah, that's why I was a little unsure.
I accept
of that.
it.
Is that acceptable?
I'll accept it. I accept
it too.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
All right.
Yeah, so
next up.
with my first pick, I'm gonna go with the 2020s movie. I'm gonna take Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I feel like obviously people fell in love with Puss from the Shrek movies, and obviously he has his standalone movies. But the reason why I'm taking this is because I believe that this had the best animated villain of all time, which was Death.
Yeah.
I think this wolf, he was so badass. Every scene that he was in, like the whistle, he just had that menacing aspect to it. Like no, like we think about animated villains, they don't really put that fear aspect into the main characters, but in this one specifically, he definitely had that.
Definitely got to watch. I actually one I haven't seen. I heard great things about it, especially about the animation and everything. So, and Ryan Coogler got his inspiration from that movie.
Yeah.
So I definitely got to check that movie
You'll
out.
fall in love with it, bro.
Who's got the third pick?
Fast, go ahead, bro.
Oh, I got a fourth pick. We're on the fourth pick.
You got back to back here.
Yeah, I got back to back. So I got 2020's movie, and my first pick is going to be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Great pick.
Come on, guys! Like that's one of the best, probably animation movies I've ever seen, especially to come out in the last 2020s. It also does help that it's playing off the Spider-Man name as well, but the characters, the animation, the storytelling, it was all great in that film. So that's my first pick. And I'm going to jump right into my second pick, and I'm going to go with a Pixar movie. It's probably my favorite Pixar movie ever is Ratatouille.
Great pick, man.
I love Ratatouille, man.
Awesome movie.
I love food, so that was also like a huge like part of why I like that movie. And plus like the story of them just being and wanting to become a master chef of its own, and just how he was just inspired by wanting to do what makes you basically a nice kid story where you just fight for your dreams no matter what shape, size you are at that point, right? And that's what I really loved about that movie. So my first two picks, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Ratatouille.
Great picks. I'm mad that both of those are off the board. I'm not going to lie.
I guess the transitions back into me.
Back to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a wild card movie. I'm going to take Megamind. I feel like this was just a great movie. It paid an homage to like Superman, Lex Luthor, Lois Lane. We saw Megamind being that element of Lex Luthor, but he started out as a villain, then turned into a hero. We saw him try to create a hero to fight, but it turns out he became the villain, which was Titan. He defeated the hero, so to speak, which was Metroman, but he just got really lazy and just didn't want to be a hero anymore at the end of the day. But overall, this was just a fun movie. Will Ferrell, Brad Pitt, I believe it was Tina Fey that played Roxanne Ritchie. We saw Jonah Hill. So this had a great ensemble cast, and I just really loved this movie.
Yeah,
great pick. Solid pick.
Going for the wild card. That's a ballsy play, though.
Yeah, I feel pretty safe with my wild card.
I'm confident in my other.
Doesn't that fit into DreamWorks or something? Couldn't you just take in that DreamWorks?
Is it DreamWorks? I don't know if it's DreamWorks or not.
Yeah,
it is DreamWorks. It is DreamWorks. But I have another DreamWorks movie.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's fair. It's completely fine. Scott.
Oh, it's me. That's right. Okay. Yeah. I think I gotta go. I was hoping I could squeeze Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in this pick, but. Anyways, I am gonna go 2020 still, and I'm gonna take Soul. That movie is awesome, man. That's such a great. That'll pull at your heartstrings. Another great message. Like a lot of these movies just have a great message because a lot of these movies are for kids. So like, just live life. Like, what is the meaning of life? Is just to enjoy, just to experience it, and live life to the fullest. I love that. The whole jazz angle is really fun. You know, like there's a lot of great jazz movies like Whiplash and La La Land and this, and I don't know, for whatever reason, it just works in movies. So I'm taking Soul. It's a good movie. Great movie.
Great pick. I'm going to go in the non-kids because my pool of movies isn't that many, so I'm afraid it might get taken. So I actually don't know if you guys are going to take this movie, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. So I'm going with the South Park movie, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Yeah. That was
That's definitely a kid. That's definitely not a kid's movie.
Right.
Yeah, there's no debate. There's no debate on that.
No.
That's one of the wildest movies I've ever seen. Oh yeah, that's literally one of the wildest movies I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if anything can top that. as far as is like it definitely. I shouldn't say it doesn't hold up because what they were saying in the movie didn't hold up then either. But it's just like a wild movie, and it made me laugh so much as a kid, which ironically I watched as a kid.
Yeah.
But that easy pick for me if we're going non-adult animated movie, South Park.
Good pick. You're back to back. What do you can? Go
I got you.
Oh yeah, you're right. I am back to back. So I guess the next category I'll go in is DreamWorks, and I'm surprised this is on the table because it's one of my favorite movies. They're doing a re-release for the 25th anniversary, Shrek. So I'm picking Shrek from a DreamWorks category. Love Shrek.
Yeah.
Might be my favorite DreamWorks movie. There's another movie that kind of goes hand in hand with it, but it was an easy pick for me. Okay. Eddie Murphy. What's it called? Mike Myers. Like such a classic.
Okay, so back to me. I think I might go into Disney Pixar here. And I'm going to take Monsters, Inc. That's a nostalgic one for me. Like I watched that as a kid, loved it. The whole doors are cool. Imagine making doors cool, right? How crazy is that? Yeah. But like when they go back, you just see like millions of doors. It just like opens up your whole world to the scale of this thing, and such an original idea. Like monsters that have to scare kids for energy. Like whoever came up with that idea, it's just awesome movie. So good.
Yeah,
great pick.
I got you. So I guess it comes back to me.
Is it Farden? Are you back to? Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to take non-kids. I think the concept of this movie wasn't really necessarily meant for kids, but that's up to you guys for interpretation. But I'm going to take Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, this was like a live action animated movie. And I know earlier on in the 90s, we obviously had that. We had Space Jam. I guess they just incorporated like all the Looney Tunes characters in it. So this could be described as like a soft PG-13 movie. We saw like a murder going on. It's like a detective mystery. And also obviously Jessica Rabbit, like she stole the movie. And I enjoyed every single Looney Tunes character that was in it. So I'm going to take Who Framed Roger Rabbit in this one.
Solid pick.
That was a great pick. I'd say Jessica Rabbit alone makes it not a kid's movie.
Oh, yeah. I was literally about to say that. I was like, Jessica Rabbit is the reason we watched that movie.
Fell in love with puss.
Could be.
All right.
Next up
man.
is me. I got back to back, so
you got another back to back.
I'm gonna go with a non-kids movie, and this is an animation movie, but it's up to you guys if you want to decide if it qualifies. I got Batman: The Killing Joke.
I don't think I've seen that, so sure.
Okay, so that's a good one. So it's absolutely we all know Batman's a super dark character, and this story has a lot of dark things where The Killing Joke is about Joker kidnapping Jim Gordon's daughter, pretty much terrorizing her and making the Batman just pretty much the worst day of his. He basically decided to that was the night where he was like, why am I still doing this? Why am I not killing the Joker yet?
Yeah.
And that's why pretty much the end of the shot is we see a scene of the Batman and Joker actually sharing a laugh together. And you never see the Batman laugh, but once you hear his laugh, it's even creepier than the Joker's laugh, which is what made the audience even feel more eerie at the end. And basically the movie ended with one's laughter ending, but you don't know if it's the Joker's laugh that ended or if the Batman's laugh ended. So it leaves the audience up into interpretation that one of those two died that night, and you don't know who. So I highly recommend you watch Batman: The Killing Joke if you can. It's a very
it doesn't sound like a kid's movie, so I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
And then next up for my DreamWorks, I'm gonna do a movie that is absolutely wild if you really think about it. It makes no sense.
Okay.
If you really think about it, I'm talking about the Bee Movie.
My wife loves that movie.
Dude, the Bee Movie is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It is so
you
funny.
like jazz?
Yeah. Dude, they're talking about, that's my cousin. Can I do my cousin? Like, what are we talking about?
Oh, girl, this woman is falling in love with a bee?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it just makes no sense. Like, and you got a dude and the law, and you got a B who became a lawyer overnight in a court case. Like, it's wild. So that's why I just found hilarious the
Oh
B
my
movie. So
God.
that's why I'm picking that as my favorite DreamWorks.
No, that's a great pick. That it was on my list of if my other things got picked, it was that, and so
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that pick at all.
Mhm.
Jerry Seinfeld, I'm a huge Seinfeld fan,
yeah.
so I was gonna grab my mug. It's too far, but that's a great. I love that pick. Great pick.
I
So I
got
guess
you.
it goes
So I'm
back
gonna,
to yeah.
yeah,
Go.
I'm gonna take, yeah, I'm gonna take a Disney movie off the list here. This is my favorite Disney movie of all time, and that says a lot because I've watched a
Ooh.
lot of Disney movies. And I'm gonna take Big Hero 6. I'm not sure why
Mm.
people overrate this movie, but overall, this took the element out of traditional Disney movies. I feel like there was, it created that superhero element, the superhero villain. We saw the tragic backstory of Tadashi, the brother, dying, Hero trying to figure out what exactly happened, and overall creating this Avengers like team. And I feel like this was one of the few movies that deserved a sequel, and we just didn't get it. But if you know, you know. And I'm a big gamer, and I played Kingdom Hearts 3, and we saw the world, the San Francisco world in the movie. I mean, in the game rather, and we saw kind of the sequel play out in that game. But overall, this is just a fun
Mm.
thrill ride of a movie. So, Disney movie, I'm gonna take Big Hero 6.
That's a great pick. I love that
Yeah.
movie. I feel like people don't talk about that as much.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like the
What were you gonna say,
Baymax is such a lovable character, and then you
100%.
put that against like the loss of a movie, classic Disney movie, someone's parent or brother or someone's got to die, to make us care about them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great movie. That's a good pick. Back to me. I think there's actually quite a bit left in DreamWorks. So I'm gonna go for because I need DreamWorks and Wildcard. I'm gonna go in Wildcard because I don't want this to get taken. I'm taking The Lion King, all time
Mm.
animated, maybe one of the best animated movies ever. Great soundtrack, great characters, great arc. We've all seen it. We all love it. Lion King's on my team.
Awesome.
Great pick. That was your wild card, or that's
It's my
your
wild card.
wild card
Yeah.
pick? All right. Let me cross that off my list.
That's right.
Good pick. Good pick. Yeah, good pick. So I guess now I got back to back, and these are my last
Closing it
picks, I
out,
guess,
yeah.
right? Because we each get 5 picks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty open for me right now. For the 20s, I'm gonna go a movie I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna go Robot Dreams.
Mm.
I mentioned it. It was in my letterbox, so it's just that's an easy pick for me. Don't sleep on K-pop Demon Hunter. That movie actually kind of slapped.
Yeah,
I
that was on
almost
my
picked
list.
So good.
Yeah, that movie slaps. For wild card, this is tough. I have a laundry list of fucking movies on here, but I'm gonna give some love to. I'm gonna give some love to Dragon Ball Super, the Broly movie
Mm.
that came out recently.
Thank you.
And not
Thank
like
you.
the OG
Thank you.
Broly movie. That movie was, oh my god! I saw it in theaters too. The minimal release that they actually put in theaters. That movie is absurd. I had to pick that movie.
I thought about
It was gonna
putting
be that, or it was gonna be like some Scooby Doo movie, but I was like, nah, let me do fucking Broly.
I thought about putting an anime movie on my list. I didn't, and I mean, I already took my wild card, but yeah, that's a good pick. Dragon Ball's dope.
Yeah, I had to do it. It's back to you.
Yeah, my last pick, it's got to be a DreamWorks, and I got a couple options here, but I think I'm gonna go with How to Train Your Dragon. That's a fun movie. That one that really, really exceeded my expectations. To be honest, I wasn't really sure what it was about when I watched it because I watched it much later than when it came out, and yeah, it's a great movie. It's got a really fun premise and high stakes that you almost don't expect, and the whole Viking thing's cool and dragons. It's a good movie.
And then new generations is falling in love with it again. Like I didn't think the live action movie was gonna do well, but destroyed.
Yeah.
So now another generation of kids are gonna enjoy these in live action version. Great pick,
Farden, your
I
last
got you.
pick.
Farden.
Yep. So my last pick is gonna be a DreamWorks movie. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. Might be. But I'm gonna take The Road to El Dorado. As someone who enjoys history, I feel like this movie portrayed a great they didn't say it directly in the movie, but it definitely portrayed the Mayan civilization. Tulio and Miguel, they try to fool the people that they were gods, like they came off as that persona. We saw Hernan Cortez in the movie. He also portrayed as a god as well. But I think the thing that stole this movie was the horse. I forgot the horse's name. It'll come to my mind. But overall, it just...
But we know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Overall, like we saw Miguel exploring with the people. Tulio, he had like a romantic encounter with Shell in the movie. But it was just fun. The soundtrack, we saw Elton John do like many songs in the movie. And it was just fun. And that's probably my favorite DreamWorks movie.
Altivo.
Solid pick.
Altivo is the name of the horse.
Altivo, yes.
All right.
Solid.
And then from my last pick is my wild card. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's a movie that I really loved enjoying growing up. It was always shown on TV during Halloween time, and it's called The Monster House. So Monster House.
It's getting memed now.
Of kids just pretty much scared to go into a house that came alive. And simple story. But it was deeper than that. You had this guy who pretty much had his wife buried in the house, and the house became the wife. It was just a lot more condensed at that time. And this movie came out, I believe, in like the early 2000s. The animation looked really good for this movie at that time for me. Like, I just didn't expect it to look really that good. And it's pretty much one of those like home field watches that I like to watch around Halloween time. When turn it on, Monster House, a classic movie, makes you feel a lot of nostalgia at that time for me. So yeah, that's pretty much my wild card is Monster House.
That's a great pick.
That's a great pick. And that rounds out the draft. So I guess we'll go one by one, kind of list out our teams, and then I guess we'll all vote, and you can't vote for yourself. Is that what we're gonna do? I guess.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go first. So I got in non-kids, I have Fantastic Mr. Fox. My 2020s is Soul. My DreamWorks pick is How to Train Your Dragon. In Disney Pixar, I have Monsters, Inc. And my wild card is The Lion King.
Oof. The Lion King really brings that one up.
That's a juicer. The Lion King is a juicer.
Yeah. And Monsters, Inc., to be honest.
Yeah.
Those last two you said, I'm like, damn. All right. I guess I'll list mine. So non-kids, I have the South Park movie. I have Robot Dreams. I have, for DreamWorks, I have Shrek. For Disney, I have Toy Story 2. And then my wild card was Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, the Broly movie. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So for my picks, for the non-kids, I had Who Framed Roger Rabbit. 2020s, I had Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The DreamWorks movie had The Road to El Dorado. Disney movie was Big Hero 6, and my wild card movie was Megamind.
Yep.
Solid.
And then for me, I got my non-kids as Batman: The Killing Joke. Take the 2020s, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. DreamWorks, B-movie. Pixar, Ratatouille. And wildcard, Monster House.
All right.
Who wants to vote first?
So Scott, we'll bring it back to you. Cast your first vote.
I think I got to vote for Faz here. I'm a big Batman fan, and I haven't seen that movie, but you explained it, and it sounds pretty interesting. I do know I've heard of it, and it sounds pretty good. Spider-Man's an awesome pick. I'll be a homer for my wife. She loves the B movie. I love Ratatouille. That's an awesome movie that I rewatch all the time.
Yeah.
So at least like 3 out of those 4 are like big for me. So yeah, I'll give it to you, Faz. Good draft.
All right, thanks.
Damn. This is tough, man. A lot of good movies were said, and I think I almost have to go off of
Circle of Life.
Yeah, right.
I almost have to go off the. I'm gonna have to pick Scott, and I don't want to be like a homer for our own podcast, but it's mostly because he has The Lion King and Monsters, Inc. on there. That was because those were movies that I wanted to draft. So the fact that he took 2 movies that I wanted to pick kind of sets it. And I haven't, and and I haven't seen Puss in Boots, so it's hard for me to pick that, and I haven't seen The Killing Joke either. So I was like, now I got to look at the landscape of these movies. I'm imagining I'm like grabbing these movies and like, okay, this is what I got. So I'm gonna have to go with Scott.
Okay,
no hard feelings.
One for me, one obviously. For Faz. Fardin, who are you voting for?
I'm actually gonna go with Scott too. Lion King is probably my second favorite animated or Disney movie behind Big Hero 6, and obviously Monster Inc. is just super iconic. But I must say that Dion surprised me with the wild card with the Dragon Ball movie, because I love that movie. I think it was definitely the better of the three that came out with Revival of F and the Battle of Gods, and the fight scene between Gogeta and Broly was just unmatched. But overall, I would take Scott.
Yeah. Let's go. Okay. And Faz, you can't vote for yourself, so
I can't vote for myself.
Give your vote though.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'll quickly before I give my pick, I do want to say, Dion, Robot Dreams does really interest me, so I do want to check that out. It sounds pretty dope. Sounds like something that I would really enjoy, especially with like no words or anything like that. Like I like movies like that where I could just interpret it based off imagery. Fardin, Puss in Boots, great pick. Phenomenal movie, guys. I recommend it if you guys get the chance to
watch it. I've seen that. Yeah,
it's good.
It's really good, and it had no business to be that good because it's even. It's really not, because you think it's a side character from Shrek.
Yeah, it's got a really cool animation style too, like more of like a kind of hand drawn type stuff. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and then for me, my pick, I'm gonna actually roll with Scott. Like,
the clean sweep. Let's go.
Clean sweep. Monsters Inc. is one of my two favorite Pixar movies. It's between Ratatouille and Monsters Inc. But Monsters Inc., like you said, you brought it home with me with the whole doors and seeing that whole animation world and just the story, the simple story of monsters, what they're supposed to do to scare. It's just easy. It's just so easily relatable. And when it comes to Lion King, that's the huge gainer right there. The Lion King, probably the greatest animation movie of all time, maybe on that list. But
I got that in the fourth round.
You got that in the fourth
round. That was sitting there.
I thought about the Lion King. I had that on my list as well. But it's just the Lion King. I think one of the big reasons why it's bringing it up is the impact of it. It's Broadway's. It's side movies. It's live action movies. Like it's everywhere. Yeah. And there's a reason why. The story's simple, and it's a coming of age story, and it's something that anybody can watch, whether it came out in '96 or whether it's now. So I'm going with Scott, man, for the draft.
Let's go, big.
You know, I'm changing my pick. I don't want to give Scott this point. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, I'm gonna hold on to this forever, dude. Hell yeah! Complete sweep win of the animated movie draft. That was fun though.
That was really fun, man. Thanks for this is awesome talking to you guys. We really talked for a long time. We went out on this. This was a nice introduction. Like we got to know each other, sports wise, movie wise, and definitely want to do something like this again.
For sure. I appreciate you guys for
100%.
coming on. Like, it's 2 hours. It looks like a 2 hour runtime. It did not feel like it at all for me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
It just felt like we were just shooting the shit and having a good conversation about, like you said, movies and sports. So thank you guys. Really appreciate
it wasn't 2 hours for me because I was like in and out, and so you know what I mean.
It's all good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
everything will be cut up.
Yeah, we'll edit that.
Everything will be cut up. People don't even know what we're even talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for joining us for this week's episode, and I can't wait. And hopefully, you guys are open to doing it again soon.
Of course,
absolutely. Yeah. We'll have to have you on our podcast at some point. But I appreciate you having us, man. It was a good time.